Hello, my name is Emma. I'm a songwriter, musician, and musical theater performer, and I would like to introduce you to the Foundation Sessions, a live acoustic show for our local talents and viewers like you. The VPN Foundation is a non-for-profit organization dedicated to promote arts and music.
When the clock strikes 5, I'm out of here.
Gotta paint my nails and fix my hair.
Gotta shine these dancing shoes, 'cause they're gonna glide tonight.
He's gonna pick me up at 6:45.
Something about that girl, I'm in heaven.
Something about that boy, I'm flying so high.
Mr. Man on the moon, won't you play a song tune? Set the mood, dance the night away. Tell the stars in the sky to make some room for us tonight. Mr. Moon, take it away. Let's zip on down to Venus.
Just to let the music lead us.
We'll tip the rings of Saturn as we sway on by. We'll be chasing dreams down the Milky Way.
Sipping on champagne while Sinatra plays in your arms tonight.
In your eyes, I gaze, it's a magical night. Mr. Man on the moon, won't you play us one more tune? Set the mood, dance the night away. Tell the stars in the sky this is for us tonight. Mr. Moon, take it away. Gonna twist and shake and spin you round.
I'm falling to you.
Baby, dance with me across the
I'm
clouds.
falling so nice.
Together we're like a symphony. Boom. La la da 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 da. Mr. Man on the moon, won't you play us one more tune? Set the mood, dance the night away. Tell the stars in the sky this is our special night. Mr. Moon, take it away. Mr. Moon, won't you take it?
Mr. Moon, won't you take
Mr. Moon, take it away. Every man in his life is looking to find the right one to take for his bride. He will hope and he'll pray that there'll come a day when real love has finally arrived. I have traveled this world in search of a girl who'd make all my dreams become true. I found my one and forever love. And it's you. My one forever. My one forever.
Christmas songs that we like to do before we chat.
Paper boxes and bows.
I wanna wrap you up for Christmas
I'll cover you from head to toe
with X's and O's. Let's make that moon glow. Kiss me under the mistletoe.
Let's roll some chestnuts tonight, 'cause we should got a fire burning nice and slow. Turn up the romance while we slow dance. A gift of holiday cheer when you're hoping in me. I've waited all year just to wrap you up for Christmas. Dance with me in a daydream.
Oh, sway with me in the snow.
And when the night lights up like the stars, I'm struck.
Oh, lucky me,
I got a guy like you.
Slide a little closer, baby, I ain't through. Let's make that moon glow. Kiss me under the mistletoe.
Let's roll some chestnuts tonight, 'cause we sure got a fire burning nice and slow.
Turn up the romance
While we slow dance. A gift of holiday cheer when you're holding me near. I've waited all year just to wrap you up for Christmas. I'll cover you from head to toe with
X's and O's. Let's make that moon glow. Kiss me under the mistletoe.
Let's roll some chestnuts tonight, 'cause we sure got a fire burning nice and slow.
Turn up the romance
While we slow dance. A gift of holiday cheer when you're holding me near. I waited all year.
just to wrap you up.
I'll wrap you up.
Wrap you up.
Let me wrap you up.
Wrap you up.
Up for Christmas.
Wow, it's so nice to be here. Another song that we're going to do later. But anyway, it's just wonderful to spend 30 minutes doing some of our original songs. And I'm happy to convey that from my wonderful colleague here, Jennifer Morrison, and on my left, Mr. Ralph Blantz. Paula?
So let's make sure, can our sound guy hear me? Check, check, 1, 2.
Where are you coming from?
This one right here. I'll shout, it's all right.
Here.
No, hold on. There's method to my madness. I came prepared. I have
Oh.
the questions up there. So, first question. When did you first become involved with music?
When I was 4 years old, I was in kindergarten, and we were doing a Christmas pageant, and the music teacher singled me out to be the lead angel, which I was kind of happy about, and my mom was really proud about. So I started back then when I was 4, and as the years unfolded, I really enjoyed music, and I met Ralph when I was 12, and we've been playing music together all these years. So it goes back a long time ago, and it's been a wonderful experience. And then later on, I'll explain how I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting Jen Morrison. So my whole life always been involved with music, singing, playing guitar, and being here tonight is a wonderful experience also. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Next question. I understand you recently received a silver medal for your latest song. This is your 6th medal. What do you attribute this to?
I have a lot of talented people that without them it wouldn't happen. For example, Jen Morrison, who we're so fortunate in the Tampa Bay area to have her here. She came down from Nashville. She was signed by the president of RCA. She's done a wonderful job making music more beautiful, writing, teaching, and performing. So having somebody like Jen to co-write and do duets with really makes it easy to get that type of a recognition. The Global Music Awards has been receiving submissions from all over the world. I think the last one that we won that medal from 63 different countries, and it's just joyful to have those kind thoughts come our way. This gentleman, of course, on the left, who I said I've known since I was 12, is my most favorite guitar player. He's so talented and such a good human being. His work on all of the music helped make it tournament level good. So I'm honored to know Ralph, to have such a dear friend as him, and people like that. And there's some others in the community I want to mention, Paula. People like Anthony Little, who's such a wonderful human being and talented songwriter, and also director and studio man, just very talented guy who came down from Nashville also. I worked with Bobby Summers and many wonderful horn players and drummers, Matt Poitner. So a lot of talented people in the Tampa Bay area. We're so fortunate to have so many good people here, and that helped propel those songs to get the type of recognition we did. One of the songs that Jen and I did tonight, Wrap You Up for Christmas, which we love so much, we had the good fortune of having somebody cover it, Eiley Monty from the UK and Gabe Brown, two very well-known people, and they did a video, so that touched us to think that our music could be that global. I hope that helps answer that.
All right, here comes the next question. Tell us about some of the artists that you've worked with. I know you just mentioned a few.
Sure.
Sort of offhanded, but,
There's some others. You know, I worked with Bobby Summers, who was with Al Green for many years as his musical director on the keyboard. Recently with J.R. Mack, I mentioned Jen and I mentioned Ralph, and some wonderful horn players. Hiram Hazley out of St. Petersburg. Just many. Jen, who am I leaving out? There's so many people that we have worked with over the last 5 years that Jen and I have been recording. Dave Pezza, I don't want to forget him. We've been recording at a couple studios in the area, Clear Track and La Mansion, and Dave Pezza out of Rhode Island, who moved down here a number of years ago. I met him also about 5 years ago. Just a very talented young man with a bright future. Anybody else that we're leaving out? I'm trying to think. Yeah, some of the horn players that Jen worked with. We had out of L.A. The good fortune of having on one of our songs, Michael Lington. So some very talented musicians that helped get us the type of quality, the artistic quality we wanted to have it, you know, where it was as perfect as we could make it. Many times you go in the studio and you think, that's good, but I want to do a little better. And if you have somebody like Anthony or David cajoling you, you'll get to a higher level, Paula.
all right, here comes the next question. So who has influenced you?
I would say Jen and Ralph, besides them. Big names would be, I grew up in an era where doo-wop, you know, in the New York and Philly area was very popular. People like Dion and the Belmonts, but I also liked Sinatra. I loved his phrasing, and Dean Martin. Even current people, you know, Bruno Mars and, you know, the Eagles. So pretty eclectic. I like thinking that it's good to have an open mind and kind of compare and contrast. But I would say some of those names that I mentioned influence what type of music I like listening to and how that helped get me to think how I'd like to phrase or, you know, express my interpretation.
All right, and here we have the last question, which is, what is in store for future musical goals?
Oh, that's a good question. I would like to continue recording. I'd like to do another duet with Jen and have Ralph and some of the other names that I mentioned participate. I like thinking that the artistic expression comes from the collaboration of all of these talents, as opposed to, not all the good thinking comes out of one head. So when you're doing something, if you could be open to the suggestions and thoughts of others, you will find that you will, especially if you associate with very talented people, that you will gain a lot by having that open mind. For example, some people might be too sensitive when it talks about what key should you be in, how's the pitch, how's the the energy that you exhibit. So on the vocal, you want to pay attention to a good instructor. I'd like to think that the best is yet to come. I like thinking like that, and I like thinking that the people I've worked with are very capable in helping us someday, instead of having the good fortune of the silver medals, which I'm delighted. I mean, we had 1 bronze and 5 silver, maybe a gold. I mean, that would be nice. Or having others cover our music. We like doing shows periodically. We think that's nice. So as far as the future, I think I like to believe that the best is yet to come, and working with people like this, I think would help accomplish that. I'd like to ask Jen if she would like to share a thought on that question also. For, musical goals.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to write another duet with you. I mean, it was so much fun. I like your influences come through, especially even being Greek, and those influences, the way you move your voice, and being a vocal instructor, I pay attention to those little nuances and how to incorporate any artist's vibe into a song. Also, as a songwriter, is very fulfilling, and you have just such a great vibe. So I enjoy the writing process with you, and I think we've written some great ones, and you're very inspiring to write with and sing with. So it's
That's very kind
I would
of
love
you.
to do another one.
I'm with
we
you.
need another duet.
Okay,
coming out.
we have that on our to-do list very
Right.
soon. If I may, I'd like to ask my dear friend Ralph. Again, I don't think I can overstate the kindness and goodness of this man, and how fortunate that I am to have him as a best friend. But what a talented guy. Name any chord and he'll be able to do it. I mean, any riff, just very talented. Ralph, would you like to say a couple words? We have a few minutes to go.
Certainly, and I certainly would enjoy being back in the studio with yourself and Jen and the other talents, and another 200 hours of studio time. And I would again be very honored to lend my guitar and bass skills to your music and to our music, as I have in the past. And it's been great working with you this many decades.
Okay. Well, Ralph's a great sounding board, like Jen, because they're very helpful in bringing out the best in you without being unkind. And that's always nice in life, if you have people that try to help you and do it in a way where they can bring out your good without doing it in a unseemly manner. So Jen's not afraid to say to me, hey, Nick, I think on that note we want to revisit it, or Ralph will say, let's weave in this chord or this, or Jen on the lyrics. So I think in life, if you know what, collaboration to me is really a very worthwhile way to accomplish much, because you have a lot of folks that are able to make whatever you're doing even better. And if you're able to push down, you always want to have confidence in what you do, but you don't want to have too much or too little. And you always want to think that by having others offer, constructive criticism, that you have an opportunity to do better. And I think there's a lot of good in having that for music, to think, instead of I know all the answers, I know who to use, whatever, being open to that. And if you have good friends, that makes it even easier. So I've had that privilege. That's why I love doing this so much, that it's not only beautiful to think of what music represents in our lives and how it touches us, whether it's from an emotional song or the collaboration when you're in the studio or at a gig. There's something special about being a musician, something artistically enjoyable.
I have to say, being in the studio with Nick is such a unique experience, because I've never, in my career, been in a studio environment where someone brings so much of their family and their friends, and and there's food, and it's a celebration, really, to be in the studio with Nick. And I've never experienced that before and I remember the first time I met you. You just were so warm and welcoming, and that makes what we do meaningful. And you've become a mentor for me. So it's been a pleasure to work with you.
That's really nice of you. The feeling that you're expressing, I get coming here to VPN. This is a wonderful place with a lot of goodness and kindness, and the ability to heighten the awareness in the community about what's going on artistically and in other ways. So it's just wonderful to think that collectively we can have joy and fun and pleasure and have music for us, send a message. So Anthony Little, if you're listening, I want you to know something. I think you have helped so much for us, and I send you warm regards, and all the other wonderful musicians that were not able to be with us tonight. They're here in spirit, and I'm grateful for everything you've done. I want to say thank you also to my wife, who has really been a wonderful person in helping encourage me and allow me to fly.
Yeah. So one last question. Where can people find you?
Oh, gosh, they can go to iTunes, they can go to Amazon, they can go to any of the major sites. We're going to be on CBS in a couple of weeks. I hope you don't mind me saying that. On the Channel 10 morning show. If they go to my Facebook page, the web page, things like that. Barnes and Noble. Spotify.
Yeah.
Oh, we also recently, our music is on Sirius XM. So I hope that's of some help.
Excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Special presentation produced by the VPN Foundation of Central Florida, preserving, streaming, continuing the legacy of original music in Florida. Benefiting art education for children.